Yeah. I see you always riding horses and doing that. How did that come about?
Man, it was so interesting. I had a friend who announced to me one day, she said, yeah, I got a horse. And I was like, what? Because in my mind, I was like, I thought that you had to be like really wealthy to have a horse. You kind of do. But you can either be really wealthy or you can be like really broke. But anyway, she got a horse. And
Because of the horse.
yeah, they're not cheap, okay? Like, so.
I'm sure, especially in LA, right?
Yeah, it's not cheap. But so I was very intrigued. I was like, wow, you have a horse. That is amazing. I said, I've always wanted to learn how to ride a horse. So I've never been on a horse. I don't think I'd ever even, maybe I'd pet a horse before, but I'd never been on a horse. This was like, I started as an adult. I never grew up riding horses. I'd never been around horses. The idea didn't even occur to me. Although in stunts, I mean, some people ride horses, but I just didn't think it was for me. So I went on Amazon and I got a book, Beginner's Guide to Riding Horses. And that was my first step. So I got this book and I started reading it. And so I got some knowledge from the book. And again, the structure thing, right?
Yeah.
Don't move ahead too fast. Just know where you're trying to go. Then I inquired about lessons from a couple people that I knew had horses or knew how to ride. So I started taking lessons from another stunt woman. And I was like scared to go faster than a walk. I was like so like nervous around the horse. Yeah. And
get thrown off or something, right?
I was just so nervous because I just didn't feel like I knew what to do. And then I did some lessons with her. Then she sold that horse. Then I found another teacher. And then I found another teacher. And then people started like knowing me and they started asking me to take care of the horses and they started asking me to ride their horses. Then I got involved with the horse rescue and they wanted me to ride all their horses. And all of a sudden I had horses coming out of my ears. And then through another interesting series of events, I met my horse that I ended up adopting, who I actually, if you wanted to get into supernatural things, I actually saw her in advance before I adopted her. But that's another story. So then I adopted my horse. My horse is like way above my level. She was an abused horse that I got from a rescue. She was way above my skill level and ability, but I had an amazing trainer and like everything just kind of flowed for me. You know, I found an amazing trainer who taught me as a rider, trained my horse, and then I just started getting more into like, it became like my meditation. So on Saturday nights, I generally watch the UFC every week. So I kind of got away from UFC and kind of started riding my horse in the forest. And now, like, horses are like a huge passion of mine. And I'm a pretty good rider. I'm a pretty good rider considering that I didn't grow up riding horses. And
wow.
Yeah, so
awesome.
I love horses. Horses are like a huge passion of mine. And it's also a metaphor I use like for people that, you know, they have like a big goal or a big dream and they don't know how they can do it and they get stressed out and they think like, oh, it'll never happen. I don't have the money or I don't have the wherewithal. And I'd be like, my first step with riding horses, I got a book. It's Beginner's Guide to Riding Horses.
Specialized knowledge, yeah.
Yeah, now I have my own horse and I'm around horses all the time and I ride, you know, pretty good. And people don't even know that I didn't grow up riding. So take that one step forward.
Awesome. Amateur career, national team, pro career.